iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting, iDiskiTimes.co.za. Mamelodi Sundowns 2, MC Alger 0. Umdlalo CAF Champions League Group C, Sundowns 9 points was enough for this season ukuthi baye kwi-quarterfinals CAF Champions League. Unfamiliar position for Sundowns. Before ukuthi Sundowns igqibe number 2 in a very, very long time. Normally they top the group. Sometimes they will even qualify with 2 games or even a game to spare. But this season we had to wait for the last game. Crunch game, game maybe nerves kakhulu. Abantu abaninzi they were not so sure ukuthi Sundowns inganga qualify this season. Abanye bathi no, we are Mamelodi Sundowns, we will qualify, and Mamelodi Sundowns did qualify. Congratulations to them. Nkewu, bendibone nawo umdlalo tata mandokubulisa kunjani?
Manibulisa Tashane, bulisa nakubantu emakhaya. It was a very tense game. Congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns. It was very, very tense. The build up to the game was that if you don't win, you are out. And that was the end of the story for Mamelodi Sundowns. In fact, we looked at the personal history of the 2 coaches, Coach Miguel Cardoso, Coach Rulani Mokwena as well, to say that every time Coach Miguel Cardoso has been faced with Rulani Mokwena, he's been able to beat him. You know, so it was very tense at the beginning of this game today. The handshake, the traditional handshake, the coach shaking the hand of another coach was interrupted. When Coach Rulani was approaching the bench at Sundowns, it was interrupted. That tells you then that there is bad blood between the 2 benches. And it's actually not the first time as well that we see that the bad blood from a former coach. Because with the coach Peter Mosimane at Al Ahly when he came back to South Africa as well. It's tense. It's also an insecurity from both parties. It's not a negative insecurity. It's an insecurity from Sundowns to say, we know you know our secrets. We don't want to make it comfortable for you when you come back. It's an insecurity to coach, or whether Coach Peter Mosimane or Coach Rulani. It's not a negative insecurity. It's to say, you fired me, and therefore I have a bone to pick, I have a score to settle. So it's an insecurity from both parties to say, we're not going to be friends, we're not going to be smiling with you, we don't want to lose to you. And the other party is saying, you fired me, I want to beat you, I have a score to settle against you. So that was even the bubbling undercurrent of this game, to say that there was something here, there was something before we even go into the 90 minutes as well. The game itself, Tashane, I mean, it was kind of anticlimactic because we were building it up. Of course, we are people who are going to dramatize things. We sell media. We're going to say this one has a grudge against this one because it is true. But there was only one winner. Congratulations to the fans of Mamelodi Sundowns. I know you were tense. I know that you could have been out today, but you remain in the competition. And well done to those fans for coming out in numbers. Congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns. Congratulations to Coach Miguel Cardoso as well. And his team, his senior players, for securing this. There was only one winner here. We could waste all the time in the world sitting here describing a 3-5-2, 4-4-2, circulating off the ball. The only simplified way to describe it is there was only one winner. How? Sundowns, when they had the ball, MC Alger were not willing to press them, to force them into mistakes. Why did they do that? It's because they did not have to win. Sometimes you're the victim of your own circumstances. You go to a game, you don't have to win, and then you're like, oh, okay, this game kind of tells us what to do. We don't have to take any risks. Unfortunately for them, within the first 5, 6, 7 minutes, they concede a goal. Now then, the situation changes. But one thing I know about North Africans, and I've always understood about North Africans, is that they play the situation. They told themselves, let's keep ourselves alive until we get to halftime. When they got to halftime, you thought, okay, maybe they will start pressing. They actually did. They made 2 substitutions at halftime. They tried to press, but I'll go back to my point. There was only one winner here. There was a gap in quality. We were folding our arms here. Our job is to analyze the game. We look at who's stronger than who without even supporting one or the other. Just fold your arms and look who's stronger than who deserves to win. There was only one team. And then you have to interpret to why is there only one winner? Why is there only one team that deserves to win? It's because Sundowns were superior. Sundowns were good in midfield. They were good in defense. They were good up front. Although it was not a perfect performance, there are 2 key players and 2 key positions that Sundowns need to fix before they get to the quarterfinals. Number 1, on the right-hand side, they're asking, and they've been asking in previous matches, Utapelo Morena to help them as a right-wing forward. On the left-hand side, but coming in a little bit as number 10, there's Tashriq Matthews. Those 2 players they are carrying at the moment. And when you get to the quarterfinals, you cannot afford to carry players. What I mean by that is that when you have a front 3, You have a left, you have a right, you have a center, which is a striker, and then someone behind them. What you want from them is to help you going forward, create opportunities, take on players. What you are not seeing from Utapelo Morena on the right-hand side and Utashuk Matthews on the left-hand side is that they don't take enough shots at goal, they don't have sufficient creativity, they don't commit defenders into making mistakes enough. Maybe they might do it once per half or twice per half. So Sundowns was not a perfect performance, but there was only one winner. I'm so proud of them. Of course, you don't get carried away. You also look at the opposition. You say, what was your contribution to the game? Mamelodi Alger's contribution to this game was to come and lose the game. Because they came here, they sat back, they absorbed the pressure, they played a typical North African game. I have one message that's key to North Africans. They took Coach Peter Mosimane because he was doing really well. North Africans, he was doing really well in South Africa. And they liked the look of Coach Rulani Mokwena because he was really doing really well in South Africa. They liked the look of Coach Fadlu Davids. He's also in North Africa as well because they liked what he did. They even took former TS Galaxy coach is there in Algeria as well. So South Africa for North Africa is a market. They like the coaches that we have in South Africa. But there's one thing that they don't realize about our coaches. You will never get the best of them if you don't have a revolution in your own country. I'll say this because I know that we have an audience from North Africa. Sometimes they send me messages, some of their journalists, to say, yo, when we want to understand South African football, we listen to you guys. Please speak English, stuff like that. And we connect with them. And I'll say this to them to say, tell your country this. You are never going to get the best of our coaches in South Africa if you don't have a revolution in your country. What do I mean? You must teach your 12, 13, 14-year-olds how to play football. Football is not just the theatrics, the wasting of time, the fans, fireworks. I mean, you would have seen the fireworks when they were congratulating Coach Rulani, farewell to South Africa and all of that. Yes, that plays its role, but you're going to have to emphasize teaching your players, your children, football, to play technically, to share it amongst themselves, to control the game in that sense. If MCLJ were 1-0 up in this game, what we were going to see would be falling down, feigning injuries. They were even trying to get Sundowns players to be red carded in this game because that's how they think it is to manage players. When I watched Coach Rulani Mokwena at Wydad Casablanca, his biggest challenge was that he's trying to teach football to players who did not grow up playing football. There's one type of football that they play. It's football with set pieces. It's football that when it's on the box, they are very good to hit it on target, but it's not football where they share with each other. Technical ability, creativity, there's no emphasis on that. You're going to keep on hiring South African coaches and things are going to fail because you don't emphasize with your kids a revolution of let's try and play the ball. If you don't do that, some South African coaches are going to fail. Well done to Coach Peter Mosimane, who won CAF Champions League with Al Ahly, with those players who don't emphasize football. From Mamelodi Sundowns' side, absolutely well done. There was only one winner here. For Coach Rulani, it's another loss to Coach Ukadoso, where for me, unfortunately, in that personal story, he's losing it, and unfortunately he's out as well. The only thing that will keep him at MC Alger is the fact that he's on the verge of winning the league. So if you win the league, he's already won the trophy, then you continue, maybe you might have another shot next season.
I was coming there, Mr. Nkewu, because MC Alger won the league last season.
And they might win it this season as well, because they're leading.
So enye yezizathu ezazibangela ukuthi bazise ucoach Rulani kwi-MC Alger was obviously ukuthi abathathe abadlulise further kwi-CAF Champions League. So now he's been knocked out kwi-quarterfinals this season. As much
Group
as
stages.
Group stages, thank you. As much as coming into this game, pressure was much on Coach Cardoso ukuthi if akakwazanga ukuthi wena Sundowns aye kwi-quarterfinals, he might be fired. Now le result namhlanje ithetha ukuthini ngocoach uRulani Mokwena?
I think what will save him, it's a very good question, Tashane. What will save Coach Rulani is the fact that he's won a trophy. He's number one in the league. Now, they were in the quarterfinals, the MC Alger, against Orlando Pirates. They lost to Pirates last season in the CAF Champions League. Muha Nkota scoring there 1v1 with the goalkeeper was one of the most brilliant moments from a South African perspective in Algeria. What will save him, because of course it is to fail when you were in the quarterfinals and now you are knocked out in the group stages. What will save him is they will look at the log, where are we? Because similar to Coach Cardoso, If he had been knocked out here, Sundowns looks at the league and Pirates currently are leading, so they are 6 points ahead. Then it's going to be like, you are out of the MTN 8, out of the Culling Cup, you're not number one in the league, and you're out of the Champions League. With Coach Rulani, because MC Alger don't always win the Champions League, I don't even know that if they've won it or they've won it once in 1970, I don't know, but they have not won it a lot in recent history. So that will help him to say, at least I won a trophy and I am number one in the league. He's leading by 6 or 7 points there, and he even has like 3 or 4 games in hand. So if he wins all of those 4 games in hand, it will be a greater lead. One last message from me, Tashane, before I let you go. I think...
Before I let you go.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. I think Brayan Leon can score 30 goals per season. In a healthy Sundowns, a Sundowns that doesn't chop and change its line out, a Sundowns that starts the season well with a coach that has his job safe, a coach that plays the way that Sundowns played today, I think that Brayan Leon can easily score 30 goals per season. He finds himself in good positions in the box. His second goal, for example, he was the only viable option. There was one Sundowns player there. Others were late getting into the box. There's 4 players, the MC Alger in the box. He attacks the first pole, he scores the goal. That's a goal out of nothing. Forget that there was a good build-up, but in terms of ukpega and ukpaga, the last thing that was done, it was an outnumber. You are 4 against 1. What you do is you don't hide behind defenders. You attack the first pole. You get your foot in there. You score the goal. He had already scored the first goal. What's clear and advantageous for him is that he looks like he's a level above the Premier Soccer League. He's better than the defenders. When you look at players, you're trying to see are the defenders who can match him, are the defenders who can outthink him. He's good in the air. We've already seen him score aerial balls. He's good in terms of being mobile. He doesn't stand in one place. He has this knack of always being in the right place at the right time. I mean, just think about the first goal as well. It's a goal, good shot by Usales. Somehow it's saved where he is, and he is there. He taps it in. But if you look at him, there was a point that we were making in the past few weeks about Lebogang Mutiba, that you don't have to uzmakisa standing next to a defender. What you do is take 1-2 steps away from the defender. If anything breaks, you are not marked. And he does it naturally. And that was true for Makgopa, for example. We make this point about different strikers. Umbutuma and I, there was a difference. The difference between Umbutuma and Makgopa is that Umbutuma, although he's not well refined, there are some things that he can improve. But what he's good at is this little movement away from a defender, such that when an action happens, he is free. Brayan Leon, I think, when Sundowns is not declining, although they're still number 2 in the league and they're still in the CAF Champions League, when Sundowns is not in a decline, think about the Sundowns that was coached by Coach Rulani Mokwena, where they needed a striker who can make things happen. This is a striker who finds himself in goal-scoring positions. He's a little bit better than Ushalulile in that he does the same things that Shalulile does, which is he's lethal in front of goal, but is more mobile. He can receive a ball, he can pass a ball, he's clever, he's good aerially. So, and also I think he's 25 years of age or 26 years of age. He's still young as well. I think there's 25, 30 goals from him as a striker, and I think that Sundowns has found their striker. What they need now is maybe a Munapula Saleng to come back and then another player to help them going forward, because I'm saying that they are carrying 2 players on the left, to Matthews, Nomurena, because they don't have very good outputs going forward. But that's a very good striker.
Mr. Nkewu, thank you so much for your analysis. Umdlalo ke we-CAF Champions League abesobukele sonke ke apha kwiDiskiTV. Umdlalo we-CAF Champions League, Sundowns making sure ukuthi basibekele indawo kwi-quarterfinals ze-CAF Champions League zale season ka-2025-2026. Sundowns 2, MC Alger 0. Thank you so much for watching iDiskiTV.
Hola bafethu, this is Junior Kanye. Please subscribe to iDiskiTV.
This is Bongane Benedict Villagazi, they call me so. Niyazi bafethu, amakhosi for life, they are back in winning ways. Please, siyacela ukuthi subscribe iDiskiTV.